Welcome to the JodaCast. We're back with another tier video. Joining me from the netherworld of the Force again is Chris. Chris, say hello.
I'm still here. We never left.
Yeah, I leave him just kind of off screen, and he just sits and waits until I'm ready to need him for another video again.
I
Uh,
have no life.
you only exist to serve me.
That's true.
So we did our commander tier list, which actually, much to my uh, happiness, I couldn't find a good word to put at the end of that sentence. Got a lot of good feedback for that, except we apparently don't know what we're talking about when it comes to Krennic. Because what did we put Krennic in D tier?
Yeah, so I we've got a lot of feedback about a lot of different characters. And, we should say that, of course, this is our opinions. I don't know if we said that last time, but these are
Whoa
just our
there.
opinions.
We're
Uh,
hold on. We're making a YouTube video. That means whatever we say is like stone cold fact, and anyone who disagrees with us must, this. There's no room for nuance on the internet. No room for respecting opinions. Uh,
I, wow,
I'm
that's some
just kidding.
strong
Uh,
stakes.
that's
But
how it's 2022, man. It's cutthroat. No,
I,
we people didn't get mad at us. We got a lot of very constructive and informative comments, a lot of which were about Krennic. Um,
yeah, I mean, so the thing is people had a lot of comments about like Obi-Wan and also Veers and everything. Also some about Callus, which I was kind of surprised because it's
that was
Callus.
Dan.
But
I think Dan was the only person who didn't like where we put Callus.
Dan loves Callus. But the thing is a lot of those I saw what they said, and I still like stand by what I say on these. The only one that and you seem to agree with this as well, that I think we should change where Krennic was, or we should change was for Krennic, because a lot of people brought up some good points. Like, he does allow the fourth special forces, which is great for tac strike, so he would be a good, support commander there. I still stand by the fact that him as a unit himself is not good. And I think a lot of people who are mentioning that also agreed with that.
Yeah,
But
the gist seems to be he works if you give him the right friends.
yeah, he allows you to do other things in the army, and his command cards like give you standbys, which is good against a lot of melee skews happening these days. Or Annihilation Looms is meh, but and also Ferocious Ambition, it lets you have a little more order control. So I would agree to put him in B. I still don't think he's an A or an S,
A
but I
B,
would
up
be.
from D to B. All right.
Yeah, it's yeah, I would find him to be of the same level of like Veers and stuff. Maybe not as good as Veers, because I still think Veers is good, but he does fulfill a role like that.
We could do these guys deserve better labels than just letters. Okay, let's get started with the operatives. We've addressed the mailbox. Um, Boba, Bosk, and Bane are all got a fresh painted coat. So where does
A
before we
fresh coat of paint.
a fresh paint of coat?
uh,
uh,
okay.
um, but for each of these, I want to say where were they before the new upgrade, their new cards came out, and now where are they? So where did Boba used to be?
I mean, Boba was okay. Like, I would say he was C, maybe B.
Okay,
Uh,
but where is he now? Because he's got slightly better attack now, right?
I mean, he has a whole other die, and his rockets have versatile, which is amazing. And he has independent aim or dodge, which means he's a little more able to respond to whatever's happening.
So is he at least because so he's obviously better, but so is he a B or an A now?
Uh, I mean,
Because he still only can be on the Empire.
yeah, that's the problem. Like he's stuck Empire only, but they're the ones that would want something like that. I don't know. I'd be comfortable with A or B. It's up to you,
All right,
because
let's throw him
you're
at an
here
A.
too.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I like Boba as a person, so we'll make him A.
Fair
That's the
enough.
other thing we forgot to consider in the last video is the content of their character.
I'll let
Bosk,
you to be in charge of that.
another nice guy. Okay, you can handle the mechanics, and I'll handle their how nice they are.
Fair
Bosk,
enough.
nice fellow. We could just put him in B for Bosk. Bosk used to.
Okay.
I mean, I know you back in the day. You would play Bosk, and he seemed pretty good. Um,
Well, yeah, he had a range 4 Pierce 1 suppressive gun,
right.
and he searched the crit. Like,
And he gets
and
a
not to
turn
mention,
where he can't miss because he gets a million aim tokens on lying in wait.
yeah, he does. And so you could do like 5 crits on an armor.
Yeah. So, what sort of changes does he have now?
Uh, Independent Surge 2, and he costs 10 points less, which
Oh,
doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly,
that
it's
sounds like a
huge.
lot. So is
Yeah,
he
I
A
would
or
say he's A.
S? Okay. Cad
Yeah, I don't.
Bane. Cad Bane. Where did Cad Bane used to be, Chris?
You don't want to ask me that. You love. Okay, this is important. You love Cad Bane,
I love
you,
Cad Bane.
but I always thought he was trash.
I always thought he was not great, except for when I am the one playing him.
I killed
I
Cad Bane when you played him in
Yes, you
one
did.
turn. You showed him up and he died. So I would argue
He's
he was.
situational. Um, I would. I mean, I would say he was C. I think you would say he was probably D or F.
I would say D.
Okay, now where is he now? Now that he's all grown up.
I mean, the independent dodge 2 is huge. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's actually kind of good now. I would say B.
The only thematically, this is besides a little off topic. It still bugs me that he doesn't have the gunslinger keyword, just because
He's a gunslinger.
like if you typed in Star Wars gunslinger, he's that. That's the words that define him. But in any case,
I mean,
I'm happy with B.
just wait until we get to the Mandalorians on the Shadow Collective, who have units called a gunslinger who does not have the keyword gunslinger.
All right, Chewbacca. I like Chewie. I'm thinking off the bat he's probably a B, at least.
I mean, he's good.
He's good. He dies really fast, which is kind of his role. Is he goes, "Hey, I'll die for you." He's like,
Yeah.
he's the Jesus of Star Wars Legion.
Oh yeah, I guess that's fair. He dies for your sins of being out of cover.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think you ever. I personally don't ever want to run him without Han Solo, and he's like Han makes him better, and he makes Han better. It's great, but he is good at keeping your people alive, and his attacks are good because he's got impact, pierce on his ranged, and his melee is I think 4 reds with charge after he's taking damage, which he always does. The only problem I ever have with Chewie is whenever I roll a save with him, I'm like, it's a big deal. I stop and I go, did you just see that? That happened. Because Chewie never rolls saves. He always dies, and he's got 9 health. He'll die in like, I don't know. He dies fast. Too fast.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
My only problem with him is just he has a lot of cool, very good like supportive command cards.
his command cards
But
suck, except for the Han Solo one.
well, I've seen a good use of the one with Luke Skywalker where they can like activate off each other, and then he has one with Leia where I think he can like shoot with her or something. It's some of them are pretty good, but the problem is he has one per unit.
Right. I mean, his Han Solo one is great. That just lets you get a card back from the discard. I It makes me, because his command cards are specific to other units. It makes me wish he had one for every other unique unit, like Chewbacca and Sabine, Chewbacca and Cassian, Chewbacca and Jin.
He has one for Chewbacca and Yoda, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, well he doesn't though. That we covered that Chewbacca in the last video.
Yeah, but I could have sworn.
Can you? I guess I suppose you could put it in your Rebel deck, and just it wouldn't do much.
Yeah, let me see. Whose picture is it? Because I think, yeah, it's Chewbacca's picture. It just says Chewbacca. Hmm. It'd be useless, but it'd be hilarious.
They wouldn't see it coming, which is always the element of surprise is always valuable. Okay, Operative Vader.
I mean, S tier. Like, so some people mentioned how they were surprised. They would disagree that Commander Vader's S tier. They, burst to speed is so good, and Operative Vader has speed 2 built in, and he doesn't have the compel, which compel is very strong. But he does have Jedi Hunter. He still has the Master Force. He still has Relentless. He has one less wound, but he's also slightly cheaper. And speed going from speed 1 to speed 2 naturally is great.
Yeah.
Not to mention he still has 6 command cards. Like, it's so good.
So maybe A, probably S. I've just any version of Vader I always have trouble facing. K2 is sort of like a Chewie here, where K2 is even a little harder than Chewie because he cannot exist in a list without Cassian already being in the list,
That's
which
true.
makes him more restrictive than other characters. I think K2 is great because of Incognito. He just hangs around and buffs your strong units with dodges and aims the whole match until the end of the game where he goes, actually, how about I start wrecking stuff? And then he becomes a big problem because he's been untouched this whole time. And he's got red saves and he's got armor 1 and he's a beast in melee. And if you give him Jin's gun, Jin's pistol's actually pretty cool too. I really like K2. I never regret using him, and he always feels like he's bringing value to the table. I don't know if you have. I don't want to put him higher than a B just because he's so limited, because you have to also have Cassian, but he's. I really like him.
I agree. Like, Calculated Odds is huge. He has a really great supportive thing where he can just give an aim and a dodge to somebody, and also Sacrifice is really good. Like, that can keep you, like, if somebody has an objective and you need them to keep that objective, he'll just make sure that they are untouched as they walk away with a box or something. But you are right. I would love to give him an A, but just the fact that he is tied to another character makes it seem like, you're already guiding a list some way when you have to put him in. So I would say B.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him. The other thing, for me, I've never used his sacrifice card. I always bring it, and then it just never, my game never has end up in a place where I'm like, oh, cool, this is a great time to use this card. Like, I think the one time I used it was a turn that I was just losing the game anyways, and everybody was like, I was just like, he had no one to save. I'm playing this so I can kill him, and then it turns out I don't think he can just kill himself with that card without having like a target to save, which was even more disappointed. I'm like, I can't even take the easy way out. Okay, Luke, Operative Luke.
I mean, S.
Right next to
He's
Papa.
great.
Hi, Papa.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people would argue that Luke is better than Vader, and I would agree with them.
Does that mean
Like,
Vader's A or Luke is the next tier up? He's L tier.
I would say he's an S plus, Vader's like an S minus, but Luke's just really good.
All right. How about Maul, whatever his subtitle is, Shadow Maul.
Shadow Maul, Shadow Maul.
Maul, Maul of America.
Have you seen his new command cards and stuff?
Yes. Did I remember exactly what they do? No.
It is true he starts with a wound, which is actually kind of cool because he then gains 3 actions with his Jiro Mastery right off the bat.
Uh-huh.
Also, he has the ability to take the Darksaber to become a commander, which is super cool.
Uh-huh.
And he can heal himself with witch magic. I would say he's probably an A. But I should warn you that you don't really have a lot of choices when it comes to the Shadow Collective outside of the standard bounty hunters anyway. So.
Right. but I mean he's good. Would you? I get and
I mean, maybe he's an S. I mean, I would say S or A. That's up to you. It's just thinking about it. Like, as part of the Shadow Collective, like I've seen a lot of lists made for Shadow Collective that revolve around Maul and then like pairing him with Rook and just going in and blasting
yeah, because
everyone.
Rook has the retinue Maul, which is I really like the retinue keyword.
And Maul has 6 command cards available to him when
Six
he's
command cards
Shadow Collectors.
is good, and he's. Do you see him usually as Darksaber or no Darksaber?
Uh, so I've seen him more personally in my games as no dark saber, because I would usually see him with like they'll have a capo or a Virgo
A Virgo.
with them, and then have Maul basically, be an operative somewhere else and go and wreck stuff in the back.
Let's see. Well, let's say, is he better or worse than a younger Maul, more naive Maul, less canonical Maul, the Maul that we pretend fought for the droid army?
I mean, he fought for a droid at some point.
um,
Uh, I would say he's CIS Maul is worse than Shadow Collective Maul, but still very good.
he's very good. I've had a lot of luck with him. I played against you where he's really good. So if this Maul's an A, does that mean this one is an S or an A plus? Is what I'm wondering.
I'll probably put him at A plus because
Okay.
oh man,
I'll just stick him right
CIS
here.
Maul, you can have a whole army of like B1s and supportive units over there and still have Maul fighting stuff.
Yeah, he can kind of just handle life on his own. He doesn't need to hang out with anybody.
And the CS are so cheap that they can still field a reasonable army to face your enemy without him.
Yeah. Okay. How about Padme? I see
So-
like she gets a lot of use when people want her to sit by a tank and let it use her standby tokens.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm having Krennic flashbacks.
So
Uh,
she's what you're saying is she sucks, but there is some very specific builds that can be super powerful. Because what it sounds like to me is like that tank standby sharing thing is super good, but it's like a gimmick. And if she's got one gimmick, I don't think that makes her a good unit in the game. Like it's not like well rounded. If they can only do the one thing and that one thing is also kind of a weird like edge case type thing, I don't know. What were you gonna say?
I, I mean, you got good points, but I have to say, a one-trick pony, it's a pretty good trick. Like, the card itself is not bad. It's just, compared to a lot of the other cards in the Republic, it's not great. Like, Authoritative is really good. Sharpshooter 2 with 3 black, but it's only range 2 unless you give her the E5S, but that's only 2 dice.
What's
I
her?
would
How
say
about her? How are her command cards?
her command card's actually pretty good. Like, she has the opportunity to get Secret Mission, and if you choose not to get Secret Mission, you can actually just give her Reliable 1, which works great for, token sharing. She can also give people the ability to get tokens, or I think a Speed 1? Let me see. Yeah, they can perform a Speed 1 move or get tokens. And then she also can get Danger Sense 2 for a turn. And it's...
Love
it,
danger sense.
yeah, she's got good stuff. It's just I don't know. To me, and she has quick thinking. She seems like a very good support character. So I don't know if I would put her at C. I would say either A or B. Because yeah, you're right. She's kind of gimmicky right now, but it really keeps the Republic Army moving.
All right, yeah, we'll throw her on B then.
Okay.
I'll take the hit if people think she's an A or a
Fair
C.
enough.
Okay, we got Republic R2 and Rebel R2. They're identical, right?
Well, I mean, I guess depends on. I I can see why you separated them.
They're
They
two
do
different
fill
units. They're
different
two
roles.
different cards, and they live with different people, because what we've learned is a lot of what makes these characters good or bad is what you can pair with them, and obviously they have different things. I think R2 is, I love bringing R2 on my rebel list, especially if I have vehicles, because he's great for repairing them. The Republic, I mean, he's probably great for repairing the tanks, right? But
Yeah,
maybe you're not going to secret mission R2 on the Republic as much as you might on the Rebels, because you throw him on a land speeder and zoom him somewhere. Um,
yeah, I would say, yeah, you're right. The Rebel R2 is great because in the land speeder you can just chuck him through. He heals things while there's a conch droid on it. So I
and
would
you have
punt
Shriv just letting him get a suppression so no one can shoot at him,
exactly. It's I would say
which is
I would say
a gimmick.
yes, but
I
this
like
is
him for, because the rebels tend to have a lot of they got a lot of vehicles. They got the walkers, the AA5, the snow speeder, the land speeder. He's got a lot to repair. The Republic's got a lot of vehicles, but they, I feel like it's mainly just the tank these days that people go for.
I mean, they have a lat. Like, who runs a lat? I would. So, this is your list. So, you can put gimmicks as high as you want or as low as you want. So, why don't you place the Rebel list? And I would say wherever you punt R2 on the Rebel list, punt the Republic list like one below that. Because he's still good, but he's just nowhere near as good as the Rebel one, just because of his versatility.
Right. Yeah, this feels about right. Because putting him at a D seems bad.
Oh
So
yeah, because he's still a super cheap
so
activation
I'd say
for the Republic.
they're either both C's or Rebel gets to be a B.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Because I do see him on Rebel list more than Republic list, so there must be something
I
to it.
I do too. It's like you said, the gimmick of like throwing him in a land speeder and just chucking him across the board to get secret mission.
Yeah. And we haven't mentioned 3PO, but I don't think that, because 3PO is technically an upgrade card. Um, I
Yeah,
I don't think that makes a difference in either faction. Um,
not really. Just because, yeah, he has calculate odds, much like K2 does. But I mean,
he's
it's like
okay sometimes, but usually you don't want to bother with him, and I don't think it affects R2's placement on the list.
nah.
Okay, one of my favorite operatives to play is a Sabine. I'm gonna throw her at A with the saying maybe S.
Okay, so why are you saying maybe yes?
Cause she's cool. Explosions is such a great card.
It's so good.
Um,
I
the she's so hard to kill. Red saves, surge to block with impervious, with her shield, with nimble. Now with the up close and personal card,
and
which will give
prepare
her
supplies.
more dodges. Prepared supplies. Her, a lot of times people will focus her and she'll take like one wound and she'll have like 10 suppression, and then you just play the card that lets her recover. Which that's all I use that card for is, oh, I'll just recover and get rid of all this suppression from her getting shot. I don't care. The graffiti token is dumb and worthless. Um, the her other command card, what is it called? The 3-pip. That one's really good because it makes her more defensible, because she'll end up with 2 or 3 dodge tokens from that card. I think she's great. I almost never even run her with the dark saber. The dark saber's okay, it's fine on her, but I usually leave it off and just give her the personal shield.
Well, I
Um,
mean, the dark saber does give her dauntless, which you mentioned the suppression issue. Like that kind of lets her get that explosions turn off, even if she's got a lot of suppression.
True. She's got jump 3 or jump 2, speed
I was
3.
like, wait, what? They updated Sabine. So here's my question then, because I also agree she's very good. I would also put her. I don't think I'd put her in S tier. I would put her in A tier, and here's why. I would argue that Maul is better.
Both malls.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I think you're right. I think Maul tends to cause more destruction than Sabine. Sabine is more of a manageable enemy. Um, and a little bit more variable because explosions. I've had turns when explosions just don't kill anybody somehow. I get in the middle of like their whole force and I roll, the bombs blow up on like 6 units and then like 2 guys die. I'm like, oh, but
Yeah, but it still
I
gets
accept that.
suppression off.
Yeah, it's usually.
I'm
2
just thinking,
suppression.
because Sabine, if she gets in there, her range attack's really good with gunslinger and stuff, but she usually, like you said, she'll survive a lot. But Maul, if he can just get into the enemy lines and starts, with force push, keeping people on him, you're not gonna touch him unless you start punching him.
Yeah. All right. I'll allow it. Well
Cool.
then. There we have it. All of the operatives. No stinkers here. Um, Once again, please let us know in the comments or wherever. You can send us a letter in the mail. Tell us what we got right, what we got wrong, how we're dumb, how we're geniuses. Just let us know. I think all of your feedback was really great in the last video, so keep those comments coming. I liked reading all of those.
We actually do read them.
Yeah, there was a lot on YouTube and Discord and Reddit. They're all good. Um, we need to. Oh, maybe we can update this list in the fall when Mandalorian and IG-88 and IG-11 come out. Because I was like, do we have new operatives coming out? Yes, we do. We have those 3 guys.
Is
And
Mando gonna be an operative?
I would assume so. All the other bounty hunters are.
I guess that's fair, yeah.
And then we got old Boba coming out. Presumably he's an operative. Although he could, based on Book of Boba Fett, he could be a commander.
Could. Oh, maybe he has his own battle force. That'd be cool with like Gamorreans and stuff.
That would be cool. Anyway, that's that. Let us know your stuff. And unless Chris, you got anything to say, that's it.
I'm just gonna go ahead and sit around and wait until you need me again.
All right, go sit in your corner.
Yes, sir.